This is Sybert signing into General's Evolution. Hopefully with sound, back once again on DEFCON 6. This map has given us many chaotic and explosive matches, and I have a feeling that this one is going to deliver in that way as well. In the north, playing the orange China, this is Blues. It's not his fault. I'm using the recolor function so that all of the teams are matched up. But his teammate also playing China Vanilla. This is Gost0fDawn. So it is the red-orange team. And we're going to continue it around the clock face. Playing the blue, USA Super Weapons. This is EpicVerdict. Playing the lighter blue, USA Super Weapon. This is E1A2. And playing the green, playing the darker green and the demo general. This is DeathMetalMarine. His teammate also playing green. Playing Toxin. This is Odie123. All right, just so that you guys all know, for those of you who really, really like when people's names line up with their color, it is not Blues' fault that he is playing orange. I am recoloring him so that it is Team Red-Orange versus Team Blue versus Team Green, and the recoloring sort of happens automatically. But we do have a couple of blue engineers from the Team Blues. Is he going to steal a command center in the first 2 minutes of a game? Oh my gosh, and he gets it! He steals a USA command center! Blues, are you kidding me? What an amazing move. He steals a barracks, he steals a command center, and he blocks with a barracks as well. So this is not quite the same as in vanilla, it was in regular 0 hour, when a GLA player steals a dozer from a USA or a China player. It's a little bit different than that. EMP lands there. And a couple more engineers. Oh, Blues. He does not want to make this China versus GLA versus USA. He instead wants to make this China-USA versus GLA. EMP lands on the barracks. Supply trucks going down, and another body block comes in with a second barracks to try and eliminate that area of attack. This command center is surviving for a long time, and Blues is deploying as much of the USA tech in his own base as he possibly can. At the same time, building engineers, trying to capture more structures. Maybe even he should try and steal the oil barracks just to be annoying, but there goes that command center. There goes the barracks. And Blues, he got a decent amount of USA tech. He is also expanding there to the low ground. So yes, we do have red-orange China versus green GLA versus blue USA. That's another way that you can look at this faction lineup, and I think it worked out very well. Thematically, GLA is green, China is red, and USA is blue. So it works out very nicely there, even though it means that Blues plays orange. And what an amazing opener for this. I really hope that we get to see some more contamination happening between the factions. I don't know that another engineer steal will happen like that. I feel like that's more of an early game thing because players have less tools at their disposal. But I hope we get to see some more cross-promoting of tech. There's going to be the dozer coming out from the War Factory, and the USA tech will continue. Whether or not we will see particle cannons make an emergence from Team China USA, we have yet to see. I would be very, very surprised if we do not see very quick particle cannons from our double USA super weapons team. They, of course, have fantastic particle cannons. They are the super weapons general. And it would be very foolish to not utilize those USA super weapon particle cannons. China is getting overwhelmed in the middle of the map. Gat cannon might finish up. I assume it's a Gat cannon. Yes, it is. Might finish up in time. It barely does, just fast enough to get a kill on one of those Humvees. Cluster mine comes in, drops behind the Humvees. Gat cannon comes back online, but does eventually get eliminated. For now, that cluster mine hits nothing and no one. Where did the dozer deploy? I'm missing it, wherever it is. I'm not sure where that dozer went. Command center, it's right there. I was, for some reason, because this was scaffolding, I wasn't actually seeing that as a construction area. But yeah, command center is there. Oh, we also apparently have crates on. I did not realize that, but this is a 2v2v2 with crates as well. Blues and E1A2, or excuse me, E1A2 and EpicVerdict being certainly very active on the map. The blue team is very active on the map, even though they have been knocked for a loop. And EpicVerdict, he's got himself an airfield. If he had a barracks survive, he can get back in this game. I'm not sure that he actually did. Oh, I just realized he never had a barracks survive. So no war factory, no barracks for EpicVerdict. It is one airfield until the end of time for this player. Firestorm ignites. Humvee is going to be trading out against Scorp tanks and flak tanks in the middle of the map. So too bad for those Humvees. They won't have the fun of killing quads, at least not from one of our GLA players. And they drive over the cluster mine. The cluster mine from earlier in this game. Wow, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, USA, one of the USA super weapons generals, now cannot even build super weapons. Unfortunate for Team Blue. They will never have the... They will, in theory, never have the super weapon advantage. MiGs come in, they do not ignite a Firestorm. One double helix doesn't get eliminated. And a couple of Comanches rolling in with these Humvees. The Comanches getting lit up by that helix's gats. And the rest of the tanks do get somewhat pushed back, but it's not a huge play there. The helix does go down, so that clears out the sky. Inferno Cannon is here. Humvees should be able to jump on that with the help of the Comanches. And Team USA, well, they may be 1.5 players, but they are fighting with the activity of 2 players. Firestorm does not ignite. I thought that was going to be enough to ignite a Firestorm, but it was not. However, Team Green and Team Red-Orange are going to be potentially at each other's throats again. And again, it looks like Team Green is really gearing up for a big attack. And if Team Blue and Team Green could join forces to attack Team Red, that would be absolutely massive, considering that Team Blue is 1.5 players and not necessarily as strong as the others. Man, if that barracks had been able to survive, if EpicVerdict had been able to hold on to his barracks, he would have had an opportunity to get out some engineers and make a play on the other side of the map, but he didn't. He didn't get the barracks. He wasn't able to hold on to that. Firestorm ignites, burns up a couple of these Humvees. Patriot missiles coming in alongside Gat cannons, not something that you see very often. Another Firestorm ignites, pushes back those Humvees. And as always on this map, we talk about how difficult it can be to push up the ramp without super weapons, without support powers. It can sometimes be nearly impossible to push up the ramp. Arty strike on the airfield. That's just kind of mean-spirited. Making sure that EpicVerdict is out of the game. I mean, he's got these 2 oil derricks. He's got 44K in the bank. So, in theory, he should be passing that over to E1A2 when EpicVerdict leaves the game. Cluster mine getting deployed somewhere on the map. Yeah, kind of at the bottom of the ramp for the China player. Pretty common spot to put it. Inferno Cannon hoping to push back anyone who is trying to attack through that valley. Couple of stealth bombers push forward. They're going to be able to get 1 tank nice and easy. 1 stealth bomber, though, pays the price for it. Gats moving forward. Humvees as well. Humvees are about to drive into the mines as well, so a couple of Humvees could be going down. E1A2 now has 2 particle cannons out on the map, so at least he will have that super weapon out first. And even though he doesn't have a teammate, very much of a teammate anyways, he will at least have his particle cannons, and he can either use them on his opponent's particle cannon, or he can try and take down the army, knock down the front door of his opponent. A nuke and a particle cannon from Team China in the north. And Blues, I think he can get 6 super weapons out onto the map if it all works out for him. It's going to cost him quite a lot of money. He's got 6K in the bank, but he can very easily transition into a massive 6 super weapon late game strategy. Another cluster mine deploys in the middle of the map. Scan does reveal it so that it can be cleaned up. Always nice to wipe out those mines before they have much influence. And the Stinger site expansion has started for DeathMetalMarine. We have been paying very little attention to the left side of the map just because all of the action feels like it is between USA and China on the right side of the map. MiGs coming in. They are going to pay a price. War Factory will be burned down. 2 MiGs get eliminated. They almost fly over the GLA base, which would also be a bad idea. And Bluess, he may be facing a fight on 2 fronts. Scud missiles moving into position on the left side. Inferno cannons are nearby. Nuke cannon as well. First shot lands. Goodbye to the Scud. Second shot lands with a firestorm. Goodbye to the Scuds. MiGs going for the snipe. They will be able to get that Comanche. They ignite the firestorm on the ground. And I imagine that is sort of an engine limitation. Nuke cleans up that tunnel network. And, well, for the current moment, Bluess is happy to play this one out in a slow way. 1 nuke cannon will get cleaned up by those buggies. Not Raider buggies, but just regular buggies, and they do get pushed back. Humvees, blue versus green, about to ignite in the south. E1A2 perhaps picking a fight on 2 fronts. He wants to fight GLA and China. Marauder tanks moving in. They're hoping to at least push back this Patriot EMP. We'll see if they're able to deal with the full power of the USA forces. Warthogs land some good shots. It's only 3 Inferno cannons, though. It's not big damage as these Marauders and these flak tanks are moving in. USA has 1 minute until the first particle cannon can be used. The super weapons starting to get added on all over the map. Raptors will be able to knock down some of these forces. The Humvees are going to be used to try and cut down the numbers, and the Patriot missiles helping to slow the advance. The EMP is just slowing down so many of these GLA units. Not much of a flank moving in from the left side. A couple of tanks that get cleaned up, but overall, DeathMetalMarine has found very little success with his Marauder flak tank army. He did not bust the high ground with any kind of anthrax or any kind of support power. He has no Scud ready to go, so he was not really prepared for that. Firestorm ignites, another Scud gets eliminated. These Scud launchers just have not been able to land. They have not been able to find very many shots in this game. China cleaning up GLA, USA cleaning up GLA as well, and in the middle they shall meet, attacking each other. GATS, VVs. Another RD strike fires off, perhaps another barrage onto this airfield. 56K in the bank for EpicVerdict. He literally cannot spend his money fast enough. RD barrage mostly misses. It was somewhat defensive for Gost0fDawn's army. Gost0fDawn does get the kill in the middle. Rocket buggies trying to avoid those nuke cannons. Second shot may come out. Nuke cannon barely surviving there. Barely surviving. And those rocket buggies so close to being eliminated, but they are just dodging those shots one after the other. Low power mode for Bluess. He's at 1100 power need. 1130 is his, oh man, 1300 for E1A2. He has got a massive power bill that he has to account for. E1A2 trying to play 2 positions at once. He's got 2 particle cannons ready to go. One of them fires off in the north, burning down some of those internet centers, and the afterburn for the super weapons general is pretty powerful. Second particle cannon is ready. Next one is 30 seconds out, but Bluess has his own particle cannon. 3 of them are ready to go. He's got a nuke as well in 3 minutes. Another cluster mine deploys in the middle. Particle cannon finds a couple more supply drop zones, and 15 seconds for the next E1A2 particle cannon. 0 seconds until the next particle cannon from the player Bluess. Big firestorms will ignite. Comanches getting cleaned up. Firestorms igniting on the Humvees, pushing back those forces. Rebel surprise into the back door, going for the oil derrick. Pretty much always a good choice. Eliminate that income from your opponent, that free, steady, somewhat interruptible income. Well, if you can kill off the oil derrick, you're going to be in a good spot. Another particle cannon burning down 2 internet centers, gets a supply drop zone and a power plant as well as a barracks. A good combo there. Fuel air bomb carpet bomb almost lands. Firestorm ignites on top of the particle cannon. I don't think it'll burn it all the way down, but it does take a big chunk of the health out. And there's the rest, ready to go. Blues firing off those super weapons. The nuke lands in the main base. The fight erupts on the front line. China has had enough. The Warthogs come in, cleaning up a chunk of this army. It's going to be aircraft trying to bring the pain, but the ECMs deflect those EMPs. ECMs in multiple parts of this army. Another firestorm erupts. The front line is holding strong, but the Chinese front line can be reinforced, perhaps continually. We'll see if there's a wave number 2. DeathMetalMarine desperately hoping to get these Scud launchers out onto the map, but they've spent so much time in low power mode. They have not been ticking down very efficiently at all. He now has 3 Scuds out on the map, but none of them are counting down. Blues is going to have to deflect another attack. This time from DeathMetalMarine. Odie on the north side still trying to salt and pepper Blues' defense. He might get one of these nuke cannons. On the south side, DeathMetalMarine is moving in. They're trying to fight on 2 different fronts, but this is not well advised for Odie. He is walking into massive artillery fires. So many of these GLA units just exploding long before they ever reach the front line. Into the base goes some GLA, but Blues has more than enough to deal with this. Meanwhile, on the south side, it's going to be a never-ending torrent of Humvees versus a never-ending wave of GLA demo units. Flak tanks and Marauders hoping to brush through this frontline defense. Buggies will find the strategy center. They manage to sneak past that frontline defense, and Blues may be broken by this double-pronged attack. China from the north, GLA from the west, ignoring the oil derricks, going for the war factories, going for the command center. The strategy center already eliminated, and Blues' main base has fallen. He does have a second base over here, which can sustain him, but his main base has been broken. The Humvees were not able to hold the line, and Blues' particle cannons are not ready to go to delete this army defensively. Particle cannons getting chipped away at. Blues on the other side of the map. The player, not the color, has stepped forward. EpicVerdict hands over everything to E1A2. His cash bank, even though it doesn't transfer on the overlay, I think it should transfer in the game, unless that is just a mistake in the game. E1A2 has a second shot at life as he transitions over to the right side of the map. He's still got China waiting outside of his door, but at the same time, China pressing into Odie's base. Odie 1-2-3, getting his Scud Storm out onto the map and immediately taking some heat from his opponent. Blues throwing seemingly everything he's got at this attack, but it's not going very deep. His goal is to kill that Scud, and he may get that. If nothing else, he will get that super weapon. DeathMetalMarine has an absolutely massive army out on the map. 115 units under the control of DeathMetalMarine. And the Scud Storm cannot be saved, but the army can return fire, can bring the pain to another part of the map. Anthrax does coat the entire lower part of this map. Inferno cannons get burned down. That super weapon particle is powerful. Blues throws out a ton of beacons, signaling to, I guess, no one, because he does have a teammate. I keep getting the blue player E1A2 and Blues the player mixed up. Massive EMP lands. These buildings will be coming back online, but E1A2 is going to call in a Warthog strike to try and hold the line. He's hoping that this support power will land a money shot on this army. The ECMs deflect many of those, and the Scud Storm will land on top of the base. E1A2 taking a beating all across his base. He has been getting punched in the face, and he is nearly out of steam. He still has a massive bank, 27K of income ready to go. Rocket buggies targeting down those supply drop zones. China pushing in from the north. Meanwhile, carpet bombs coming in. Joint carpet bombs on top of the GLA teams, on top of the black markets. Cleaning up a couple of black markets there, reducing the income of Odie by a bit. China versus GLA now clashing in the south. Who gets to kill USA? Well, it looks like it is going to be GLA, as DeathMetalMarine has an overwhelming tank force. Scorpions, Marauders, and flak tanks all coming together to crush Gost0fDawn. Meanwhile, in the north, it's another rebel surprise. This is Toxin rebels in the north, just getting gunned down one by one by this Gat cannon on the defense in the back of the base. So many particle cannons ready to go on the China side of the map. Two of them are less than 30 seconds away from firing off. E1A2 still has 2 oil derricks under his control, so he's still got that slow, steady income ticking in for him. Another sneak attack in the north. This time for DeathMetalMarine. He's trying to get his forces back to his main base quickly. They enter here and they exit here. Particle cannon on top of the sneak attack. A massive shutdown of the reinforcements. You thought you could come through with a big win, but you cannot. And the nuke lands somewhere in the middle of the map. A huge army explodes from that nuke. And Blues plus Gost0fDawn, their teamwork is seemingly too strong. One fires a nuke, one fires a particle cannon, and together they destroy the GLA. It's going to be Guardian tanks coming in from E1A2. The rebuild has happened. He's going to try and retake his main base. Moab lands on top of that palace, doesn't destroy it. Odie and DeathMetalMarine, they have changed their attention from USA to China. They are happy to focus on the China players for a minute. Another mine drop comes in on top of the at the bottom of E1A2's ramp. E1A2 not giving up. He's still got 27K in the bank. He's got a ton of extra power plants now. Since he lost his particle cannons, he lost a lot of his supply drop zones as well. He has got a ton of extra electricity. So many power plants upgraded along that right edge of the map. Always the hope of a comeback for the one player in a 2v2v2. You're at a massive disadvantage, but you still always have the hope of a comeback. You've lost your teammates, but not your will to survive. Team China seems to be in the best position by virtue of they have more super weapons than any other team. And they have more super weapons than any other team can even construct. They right now have 8 in total under their control. The nuke lands on the main base of DeathMetalMarine, a dual nuclear explosion on top of the infrastructure and the units of DeathMetalMarine. It's going to be low power mode for the GLA. Up the ramp go the assault. Blues seemingly never stopping with his tanks and gats. Tanks and gats, tanks and gats, a never-ending barrage from the China player. Meanwhile, GLA switches to Molotov cocktails. They're going to go for the internet center. A double kill there would slow down the income of Blues, but of course not stop it. The guy has 33K per minute in income. He cannot be stopped easily. Another nuke is ready to go. It might be fired off here in the middle of the map. The army has destroyed the middle expansion for the China player. More supply trucks getting targeted. It's down on the low ground, right next to that Scud Storm. And instead of hitting the Scud Storm, he goes for the economy of the GLA players. Their income combined is only 14K per minute, so actually the GLA team is the worst team in terms of economy. China is the best team, but that's partially because Blues is so strong at plus 34K per minute, but number 2 is E1A2 at plus 25K per minute. So absolutely huge incomes from those two players, and everyone else is sitting down below 10K, with the double GLA team only being at plus 10K per minute combined. And a carpet bomb on top of it to finish off that Scud Storm. DeathMetalMarine has been slowly picked apart by the China team, and soon their attention will turn elsewhere on the map. Oh, E1A2, I don't know that you want to pick this fight. I don't know that you want to start this up. You're going to have a lot of pain headed your way. Massive firestorm on those Humvees. They were sitting and waiting. Carpet bomb on top of that. Blues and Gost0fDawn once again working together to just destroy a player. That carpet bomb and that MiG strike in concert, working together for absolute devastation. OD123 has been defeated, our second player out of the game, and DeathMetalMarine certainly has an opportunity to come back in this game. He's still got a black market there. He still has an opportunity to mount a comeback in this match. Got so many palaces loaded up everywhere on the map or on the outskirts of his territory. Another war factory going to be coming up for DeathMetalMarine. It does feel like Blues is going to have an easy time just pushing south and killing off DeathMetalMarine. He does have one particle cannon ready to go, and another nuke will be firing off. Joining in with the particle cannon to land on top of E1A2's new old main base. E1A2 moved over to that right side expansion, or that right side base, his old allies' main base, a long time ago. Another firestorm ignites. Tomahawks move out. They will be able to clean up those Inferno cannons, and the firestorm doesn't ignite, so the Inferno cannons don't get an easy cleanup on the Tomahawks. Firestorm support power gets called in, and a cluster mine on top of that. No, it's an EMP that lands on top of this army, and the firestorm does ignite. E1A2 eats the pain of messing with China in this game. Meanwhile, DeathMetalMarine has a huge amount of gats and tanks that he has to worry about. His paltry defense is no match for the Chinese overlords. They will send every unit that they've got until they drown you in blood. Theirs or yours, it doesn't matter, but the infinite numbers are what will land. The nuke will hit here in the base of E1A2 on top of the barracks and the supply drop zones. Low power mode once again for E1A2. He strikes back with a Warthog and with his own fuel air bomb, but it's just not enough to hurt the income of someone who is at 36K per minute. Iron Dragon moves out, the Iron Dragon bomber, to try and help this defense. Blues is holding off or is attacking DeathMetalMarine and holding off E1A2 at the same time. Not often does one player manage to hold back two opponents at the same time, but when you've got 38K per minute in income, you've got a total of 600,000 total resources gathered. It is a super massive, super fed Blues. GLA is the first team eliminated from the game. USA will be the second team eliminated from the game. Both of the oil derricks going down. Is this a double or a triple nuke? It's on the low ground where all of the super weapons will be used, irradiating the map with a ghostly pale orange. Nuke after nuke, super weapon after super weapon, and somewhere a nuke actually just got eliminated. I don't know where. Perhaps a fuel air bomb in combination with some other things killed it off, or maybe he just sold it off because he didn't need it anymore. But Gost0fDawn lost a nuke. Particle cannons will never fire off again for E1A2. His airfield goes down, and E1A2 has been defeated. Blues and Gost0fDawn, the China USA team, get the win here on DEFCON 6. Another absolutely massive, explosive game on DEFCON 6. It's not a great strategic map, but it is a good map for explosions, and that will do it for this video, for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Sybert, signing out.